It's interesting. Like a week before the election, I was talking to people, and we had a lot of people on the show. I had Rudy Giuliani here in the studio about a month before, and he was the first guy that had ever gone into detail with me about the interference. And I was like, wow, I've never actually heard this talked about because it's been kept out of mainstream for so long. But here's a guy who is, a really good attorney, was the attorney general in New York, who was giving me the details. And I thought, wow, this is fascinating. And then with everything that was going on with Elon and this government efficiency department and what Vivek was talking about, I was reminded of what you were talking about in the blob. And I just thought, you know what, $1 trillion or $2 trillion worth of military industrial worth of government jobs and bureaucracy doesn't go quietly into the night. And so whether you're a conspiracy theorist or not, you've got an inertia that doesn't want to move. And so if you've got someone coming in that's going to try to move that thing, it's going to resist, and it's going to find some way, and you don't even have to be a conspiracy theorist, it just doesn't want to go away. And so I thought to myself, there's no way they can allow this man in to do these things without a massive amount of pushback. And I'm just curious what you think about that. I guess we're seeing it starting to happen now, but this thing isn't going to want to go away just from pure entropy itself. And so how do you see that pushback coming? We now see that Vivek and Elon are going hard on this Department of Government Efficiency. The rhetoric from Vivek has been crazy, as in, we're going in to slash and burn, and that's the only way to get rid of this thing. What do you expect the pushback to be?
Well, you don't need to be a conspiracy theorist. You can simply read the New York Times and be a true believer in the trust and integrity of the mainstream media, because the New York Times published last week that there were emergency meetings at the Pentagon about how to Trump-proof the agency against the commander-in-chief. So we know that these conversations are happening. In fact, there's a sort of somewhat notorious, famous tweet going around right now where someone found the actual procurements at the Pentagon. They ordered an industrial shredder the day of the election, which is big enough to basically mash up servers. I mean, you have a $35 trillion black hole in the Pentagon budget. That's larger than the annual GDP of the entire country, just the size of the accounting black hole in the Pentagon's budget. So, there's a lot to be cleaned up. But I think what you're going to see from their side, in addition to attempts to use lawfare, I think you're going to see state prosecutors play a highly active role in this administration, trying to use state level prosecutions where there's no ability to have, federal pardons or federal immunity on various things. I think you're going to see attempts to bribe and poach and extort members of the Trump administration to pivot them closer to the blob. You're seeing this today. Today, Matt Gaetz, the Justice Department selection nominee from the Trump administration, there was an anonymous hack of his electronics that were then given to the New York Times, and they're trying to snowball this into some sort of sex trafficking ethics probe. But, there's only two ways to be a hacker in this country. You work for the CIA, the NSA, or the FBI, or you're a felon. That's the only two ways that you can be a hacker in this country. And the fact is someone just today hacked Gaetz's personal electronics and then gave it to the New York Times, who's publishing its contents. You are going to see that in an attempt to shut up, to silence, to threaten, either directly or through back channel conversations, that you don't want to go there. You have a beautiful thing going. Simply go along to get along. Obstruct from the inside. You're going to see this at the DOJ level. You're going to see this at the State Department level. You're going to see this at the DOD level, USAID, the whole shebang, DHS, FBI. Now, Trump has done, I think, a remarkable job so far in terms of his cabinet pick selections in order to try to put people in who are tough enough and loyal enough to resist the extortion and blackmail attempts. I do not think Matt Gaetz is going to be deterred by this. I think it is only going to make him angry. But there are others I'm not so sure about. The fact is everyone on the MAGA Trump side was pulling for Rick Scott to be the Senate Majority Leader, but in a sort of midnight emergency meeting pulled off by Senate Republicans, they put John Thune in as the Senate Majority Leader. Well, the Senate Majority Leader has an unbelievable amount of power over the Senate. He's the person who gets to determine all of the committee assignments, which is how you get power in the Senate. So everyone is going to need to suck up, in some sense, to John Thune if they want a healthy Senate career on the Republican side. John Thune is a guy who has made his career with faithful fidelity to the blob. It's also the Senate who determines impeachments, who has the power of the filibuster in order to stall things. It's, and that impeachment is not just of the president. There are rumblings that this Senate majority, a pretty wide Republican majority currently, may not approve the president's own cabinet picks, including Matt Gaetz. I think it was just published that there were 9 Republican members of the Senate that are considering not appointing several Trump nominees, such as Tulsi Gabbard and Matt Gaetz, and all 9 of those voted to appoint the Democrat Merrick Garland, who was the single most corrupt attorney general in the history of the United States. Bar none, nobody else even comes close. The damage done to the credibility of the American justice system. We violated a 250-year pact around not prosecuting your political opponents, and they did it over total BS, and everyone knew it. They even worked at the state level. The Justice Department sent their number 3 directly to the demotion to the New York District Attorney's Office just to be able to mind parasite the prosecutors at the state level to coordinate at the federal level. This is the sort of thing we put sanctions on foreign countries for doing. And we made it the home court philosophy of this Justice Department. And it was totally greenlit by the Senate. There was no impeachment of Merrick Garland. He shouldn't have been approved on day one. Anyone who knows his track record, would have seen the parable of the frog and the snake, as Trump once told it. But the fact is they may not allow the appointment of pro-Trump candidates within the cabinet, and then they may impeach them any step of the way. So there's going to be this very close collaboration between the blob side of the Republican Party here in the U.S. and the out-of-power Democrat Party. And that coalition may indeed prove stronger than the MAGA coalition.
Hey, I know investing in crypto is scary. It takes a real leap of faith because there are so many scams, rug pulls, and bad actors out there. It's a dangerous business, which is why 95% of people lose all their money. Well, that's why I created the London Real Investment Club, so you can access the hottest deals on the planet and use the crypto bull market to create the generational wealth that you deserve. Join my team of over 100 people from around the world that are making millions of dollars behind the scenes investing in blockchain, AI, Web3 games, DeFi, Bitcoin, and more. Don't miss out. Click the link below to book a call with one of my team now. But hurry, this bull market will end soon.
I know investing in crypto can be scary. That's why you gotta join the investment club. Pull the trigger. Let's do this.